yourself out of a sticky situation in Magic the Gathering. In a game of Commander, in a game of CEDH, table looks pretty rough. People want to remove your stuff. People want to maybe even counter one of your spells. But realistically, maybe you're not the threat at the table. How do you get around it? What do you do? How do you politic? Do you even like politics? Welcome to MTG Tuesday Tips and Tricks, and today in CEDH and across the board, we're talking about politicking in Magic the Gathering. Now here's the thing. In a 1v1 game, you're not politicking realistically. You're not going to tell a person, hey, you shouldn't remove this instead, please. But in a multiplayer game, you have this little bit of a chance to kind of table talk at the table, be like, hey, look, I don't want you to remove, can you please not remove this? Let me tell you why. Let me say, like say the removal and stuff like that. I run Kinnan. I am my CEDH deck. I've ran Kinnan for a long time. I love Kinnan. But Kinnan also is keen to being countered, being removed. But there are ways that when Kinnan hit the board, it's not really that scary. And there's ways you can be like, hey, look, don't waste your removal on that. I used it one time. A guy was going to use a Toxic Deluge on the board. There were two creatures on the board. One was Nestor and one was something else. I'm like, look, and I think they had a Mana Dork. I was like, you're removing your creature. You're taking care of Kinnan, but you're only hurting me. And look at my board. I have no Mana Rocks. I have no Mana Dorks. I just had Kinnan out. You guys have slowed me down. You've kind of stopped my stuff. And they didn't do it. There's also times someone politicked with me about not removing their Basalt Monolith in a Kinnan deck. Because you're like, look, I can't win. I just have infinite colors mana, but I can't do anything with it. I don't have anything else I can do. And I was like, you're telling me that you cannot win this turn. He's like, I can't win here. I can't probably even win on my next turn. I said, you're going to give me at least to the next turn, right? You're not going to win. I won't remove it if you can assure that. He's like, yeah, I can 100% assure that. I said, great. Awesome. Well, let him have it, because I knew I could win on my turn. I didn't mind the thing, but I was like, if he's going to go for the win here, I got to stop it. But there are ways you can politic and talk to people. Do you like politicking? Some people don't like it. Some people don't like the talking and the communication. They think it's horrible. They call it collusion and all this stuff, or hey, let's just go for a draw instead, and all these different things. But honestly, it's a part of the game and it's allowed to happen, and you can just have these talks. And here's the thing. The people that get mad about it are usually people that are bad at it the most. Because there are ways when you can be a threat at the board and still be able to politic your way out of stuff. And it's also all about wording. Keep your wording simple, keep it straightforward, but don't lie. You tell somebody, they play something, they're like, hey, and you're like, look, I can get rid of that. They're like, look, please don't get rid of another turn. You're like, sure, fine. I will give you one turn, this turn. I won't remove it on this turn. Maybe you can move it on your turn. Specifically wording things like that. Or you say, I'm not going to destroy your creature or do this, or I won't counter this spell or whatnot. But, you can just win on top of their win, to say, even if they have win. But there are times to have sit and conversations. And there's sometimes where you're just not going to get yourself out of a situation. It doesn't matter if you're the threat of the board, you've got all this stuff, you've drawn a bunch of cards, you're just stuck. There's not much politicking you can do there. But there are ways around it. You can just sit and have conversations with people when you're really not the threat, or maybe you've got some stuff, but you're kind of behind, and you're like, look, just don't do this, because you've got some ideas and some strategies, and help yourself. The question is how good are you at politicking in Magic the Gathering? I've seen some crazy people do some crazy talking out. Don't listen to the person. And I've learned how to be careful with how I word stuff, because I never want to lie. I don't want to lie. If I tell you I'm not going to do something, I'm not going to do something. Now, there's been times in a game where someone takes like a real long turn, and I'm like, I'm going to remove that. Like, hey, you said you give me oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot, because it's like been 20 minutes. But at the same time, I would tell you this, keep your word. If you say something, I'm not going to remove something. I'm not going to destroy this. If you're going to destroy it, word it where you say, I'm not going to destroy it this turn, or I will give you until my next turn to let that be on the board, or whatever. But on the other hand, when you are politicking, people know that people try to keep your deals. Like, look, there's no reason to say, oh, well, I wouldn't have made that deal if I known this or that. Well, you made a deal with somebody, keep the word, I'll be honest, don't be that player, don't be that guy. You don't technically have to keep your word or your deals, but you're going to be known as the guy that went back on deals and promises you made and stuff like that. But let us know in the comments below about politics. What are your plans? What is the stickiest situation you have gotten yourself out of? I love to hear that in the comments below, hear your stories. And as always, we'll see you next time.